my calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
They're here.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
It's showtime.
Right, welcome everybody to another episode of the VHS Strikes Back. I am one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to the VHS Strikes Back, the show where we dust off the old video player and go on a nostalgic journey to look at the good and the bad movies of yesteryear. Now, Chris, what are we going to review this week?
Well, Dave, it is actually my pick, and I wasn't sure what to do. Do we go down the martial arts route? And it's a tired old format, but I love doing that, and we've loved reviewing them sort of fucking efforts on YouTube mainly. And then I'm like, as I said last week, loads of classic films. But I decided, Dave, to go back to 1990. Now, this is a movie I want to talk about actually before we get into review. But this is a movie that I don't think a lot of people have seen. And I think there's a bit of a reason, having researched it like today, just for the pod. Not 2 minutes before we started recording, Dave, but I've been reading stuff today. Three. There's not a lot about the movie, actually. So it's got quite a big cast. It's got James Belushi, Linda Hamilton, Michael Caine, Jon Lovitz, Courtney Cox, Dave, Rene Russo. And Hart Bochner, who not many people will know, Dave, because you didn't know that. And we'll talk about who that person is a little bit later. But this one is called Mr. Destiny. So, Dave, I've got plenty of stories about this. What about yourself?
Well, to be honest, I look at that cast. I look at the fact that it's 1990. I was watching a lot of films around that time. And I think, how have I not seen this? And I think I might have done. The answer might be that it's just... It's kind of like a tribute band to other things, isn't it?
Hey, fucking steady now. We've not even got into it yet.
I mean, it's a bit of It's a Wonderful Life. It's a bit of A Christmas Carol. It's that kind of redemption story that is just kind of, I mean, it's not straight to video, is it? But it has that straight to video feel, apart from, I guess, the cast that, they were all pretty hot property at the time. So, yeah, I don't think I've seen this one, but I can't rule it out as well.
Well, Dave, well. You've hit on a point that I came across today, actually. I've rented this out on VHS, and I actually got the ex-rental versions, as I said last week. So I had the bigger case, and you always thought that them videos were better, didn't they? Because they were ex-rental. Yeah,
they absolutely were.
Sorry, you did say that. Yeah,
yeah, they were made to be more durable, whereas your normal ones that you buy were more plasticky. These are all hard-wearing, Chris.
Well, there you go.
All that time at Blockbuster was not wasted. I mean. I had to elaborate on that because that's the only fucking useful thing about it now. So it didn't really set me up for later life.
That's a Chris Phelps useless stat that Dave usually. It's the sort of thing I say to Sam and she goes, but why have you even told me that? I don't care. So anyway.
Very useful in 2023.
Yeah. So I had the VHS. I actually had a poster on my wall because I remember going through, I've said before, AWOL, as most people know it as Lionheart, but it was AWOL in the UK, Van Damme, and stuff like that. In different movies, I had a massive, as I was told when we did The Rookie, for some reason, I had nearly a life-size fucking thing of Clint Eastwood and Charlie Sheen. Nobody knows why, Dave, but I did have that in my bedroom. Not sure why. But anyway, this, you say about straight to video, this was only released in the cinema in America, right? And because... most baseball movies don't do well outside the US. So it literally says, reading up on it, that it wasn't released on VHS, but that's a lie, because obviously in the UK it was, because I wouldn't have come across this movie any other way than renting this on video. And it became one of them movies in my family, Dave, where we would all sit around and watch it. I've watched this. I've watched this loads of times. As I said last time, I've not watched it for about 10 years or so, but I've never had it on DVD, and I have actually seen it on UK TV. I think it's been on Sky Movies in the past. I'm pretty sure it's been on the BBC or something late at night, 'cause I've definitely watched it on the UK telly. But it just struck a chord with our family, and for me, it was always one of the movies I could just sit down and watch it, and I've sat with it in my back pocket because it's a bit of an unknown one, because I've got a couple of unknown ones as well. And this is probably, in my eyes, one of the better unknown ones, Dave, because I've got some proper shit ones I want to, throw onto you. So, yeah, I just when we were thinking about what can I do, I thought, what if I put something completely different? It's not violent. It's not thingy. It's got a bit of a feel-good story. Completely agree with It's a Wonderful Life. You know, that the parallels are uncanny, Dave. Uncanny, shall we say. But I do agree with you in the same respect that if it didn't, this could be any cast doing this movie. The fact that it's got quite a big cast on it, or you know, especially Michael Caine, who apparently, when he did this movie, Dave, he actually realised that he was always going to play second fiddle in movies now. He wasn't the main actor. This was the movie that made him move back to the UK, apparently, after living in the US for 20 years, because he said, I'm not actually a lead actor anymore. I'm always going to be a bit part because of my age and where I am in my career and stuff. So,
well, he was certainly wrong about that. Muppets Christmas Carol was
Alfred, Dave?
in his future. Well, I mean, Alfred's your classic sidekick, isn't
well,
it?
Yeah. Okay, I've just answered my own question there, Chris. But you are correct there, David. Yes, you are correct. Mr. What's he called? Ebenezer Scrooge. But yeah, so just to do it, I thought, let's do it. And I was sort of thinking, I don't really want Dave to shit on it. But in the same respect, like one eye open going, but if he does, we'll probably have a good laugh about it. So they're here where we are, Dave. This is where we are.
Well, with that, Chris, should we get into the trailer?
Let's go.
Larry Burrows has spent his life wishing he had just hit that ball.
I just started a half a second sooner.
Were you thinking about that silly baseball game again?
But today is Larry's birthday, and Mr. Destiny has a way of making wishes come true.
Hitting that baseball has spun your life off in an entirely new direction. Things have changed, Larry. This is your house. Those are your children. Cindy Jo's your wife.
Happy birthday, darling.
God help me.
Now Larry's got everything a man could ever want.
Who do these cars belong to? Well, they belong to you, sir. Get the hell out of here. As you wish, sir.
Except the one thing that mattered most. The love he left behind.
I mean, she's my wife, for Pete's sake. She was your wife. Ask me something I couldn't possibly know.
The day I got my driver's license, I got pulled over for speeding. I want to know the name of the song on the radio.
This one.
Touchstone Pictures presents James Belushi and Academy Award winner Michael Caine.
My wife hates my guts. My best friend's afraid of me, and I'm up in a tree in a tuxedo.
In Mr. Destiny.
You didn't think everything was going to be perfect, did you?
The story begins on the strangest day of Larry Burrows' life, his 35th birthday, consisting of a series of comic and dramatic misadventures. Larry blames all of his life's problems on having struck out during a key moment of his state high school baseball championship game on his 15th birthday. Now, Chris, what do you reckon to the opening of this movie?
Well, Dave, I'm going to be biased today, my friend, because I absolutely love this movie. And I was worried myself thinking, is this aged really badly? As some of my picks recently, we're looking at you every which way but loose, you know. But no, I love the idea behind it. I think Jim Belushi's pretty good in it. But I do agree with you. This has got a Channel 5 afternoon Hallmark type TV feel to it. It's not a massive cast. It's quite a small set. It's all filmed within the same area in the US, and even the baseball pitch and the factory and that. So the idea behind it, I think what struck me, David, even watching it now all these years later, is we all think that these points, every single person has regrets in their life when they've done things where they regret whatever it is, whether it's something that was a catastrophe, you feel like it's pivotal in your life. Even when as a kid, it's sort of always the idea behind this. Obviously, Back to the Future, big with great movies, especially Back to the Future. Just that time travel and adjusting things, different timelines. I've always been fascinated. Not being a massive sci-fi fan, Dave, it's quite interesting that I like these sort of films. but yeah, he starts off really well, and it's dead familiar for me because I'd probably say I've watched this about 20 times in my lifetime. So it was just, to come back into it was great. However, it is a stretch that, that has been the whole catalyst of his whole life. And for 20 years, fucking Larry Burrows has just basically sat there moping that he didn't hit the baseball, Dave. I mean, we've all played football. I'm sure you've had chances there where you're like, if only I'd done this, and all that stuff. It's like that. I don't think, and what I don't understand is, Dave, it's not like it would have elevated him to the Major League Baseball league, like playing for the New York Yankees. I still don't understand to this day what that actually means, why he ended up in this, this different world. But anyway, that's how it starts. And obviously Linda Hamilton's his wife, who the year after this, Dave, is in fucking Terminator 2. So she was definitely taking her vitamins at this point. And her name in this, Dave, when she's not married to Larry, is actually Ellen Ripley, Dave. Alien.
Yeah, I think the Ripley thing really put me off because she'd already played Sarah Connor. And, so to have her with the name Ripley, I was like, you could pick any name, but one of the most iconic names, female characters. I guess maybe the writers... I guess in the first Terminator, Sarah Connor was a little bit, apart from the end, she's the one who kills the Terminator, but she's kind of a bit of a scream queen for most of the movie, isn't she? So,
yeah,
having seen the second one where she's an absolute badass, it just seems weird to have her as the actress playing a character with the name Ripley. But yeah, Chris, he takes it as badly as much as Daniel LaRusso takes it positively that he won the State Valley Championship twice. He does something at high school, and then that's it. His whole adult life kind of revolves around this moment. But I think the biggest stretch out of all of this, Chris, is that the kid playing, young Larry is a good-looking kid, isn't he? I mean, he's like almost Rob Lowe good-looking. And I'm like, I'm not fucking having that he grows up to be James Belushi.
Well, he looks like he's lost a bit of weight in this because Red Heat was a couple of years earlier when he looks really old. And he is actually 35 because it's his 35th birthday, as you just said. And there is points when he's having his breakfast and he's sat there with Linda Hamilton and with Ellen, and he's like, he does look quite young. He looks like he's been in training and that. But yeah, the whole thing is like the fucking contractor comes, his whole drive's just full of mud, and he's like, I need grass. Yeah, and the guy's just stood there looking at him, and he's handing cash over, and she knows it, and it's about they've been together because the reason he got with Ellen was when he was crying after the baseball game, she gives him her handkerchief which has her initials on, which apparently her auntie gives her a dozen every Christmas. So these all things that he knows about, but he knows his life would be different. And then obviously, he thinks, he takes her to work, doesn't he, Dave? And she's a union rep, and he thinks that she's forgotten about his birthday. So he goes to work, clips there, Jon Lovitz, the big comedian, Dave. What a fucking hysterical guy he is, isn't it? And then obviously the director's there, who's the son, the big bloody meathead, ex-American football player. He's talking to him, and they're having a joke and stuff. And then it's like his car breaks down. He thinks he's had a shit day. Oh, not just that, he loses his fucking job, doesn't he? Sorry.
So he's
Dave,
rooting around in the
office of Niles Pender, Dave. Now, I've taken a few losses, right? I have taken a few losses recently, mainly the guy out of Next of Kin's Night and Ghost. There's another one completely off the mark, and you were like...
So I edited it out, but you thought... Philip Baker Hall. You thought he was Baby's dad from Dirty Dancing.
Anyway, so you have not let it slide that my usual radar for these people is on. You've always said to me your knowledge of these fucking characters and who they are, like what films they're in, and I've been a bit off on the last time. So
their names. You've got a really good recall for like character names, actor names. You can just drop of a hat, pull these names out where I'm like, who's that? I very rarely remember the names.
All right, well, I'm clawing this back, Dave, because Niles Pender, who is the slick back yuppie with the fucking glasses on, an absolute arse, and he proper like loves himself. He's like sort of like one of the directors and all this shit. And I messaged you and I said, do you know these? Have you watched it? And you're like, oh, yeah. I said, who's this guy? And you wouldn't have it. And you were like, I feel, I'm getting a bit worried about it. Anyway, I sent you Hart Bochner, who plays Niles. He's actually, Dave, fucking Ellis out of Die Hard. Now, what a difference. I know he's a few years, about 3 or 4 years, but he looks completely different, doesn't he, than what he did in Die Hard.
Yeah, because you said about who is he, and I was like, oh, it's the guy out of Supergirl, because he was in Supergirl as Ethan, but he didn't have a beard on in that.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, it's Ellis from Die Hard. I'm like, fuck off. No. And that's what I said. Oh, I'm getting worried about you. That would have been your hat trick, wouldn't it? It was Philip Baker Hall. And then, what was it? What was the second one?
Oh, it was the guy out of Next of Kin, the guy out of Ghost one. I thought they were the same character. Mate, trying to get up with Demi Moore.
I thought, this is the third time in 3 weeks or something. What's going on here? Apparently that guy last week looked like Sylvester Stallone as well. But yeah, and so fair enough. I did look, and yeah, it is him. It is Ellis. But his beard does make him look really, really different, because I think he's got quite a distinctive look. I mean, he does look like, just a sort of slimy guy who's got everything. He does play a bit of an arsehole, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got that salesman feel about him, man. Very good character. I think it's the voice. I just kept waiting. I said to you, I kept waiting to go, Hans, baby, like he knows his dad. Fucking blows his head off. But no, so it was really good. So that was just my little victory, Dave. I'll take the victory. So he goes, Larry loses his job, like he says. He's found in Niles' office, and Niles says to him, it's quite a good line. He goes, have you lost something? And then Belushi goes, I think I just have, yeah. And he gets sacked. And then he goes in this bar because his station wagons fell down, and there's Mr. Michael Caine, Dave, with what can only be described, and I think you said this, a Marouane Fellaini afro, Dave. He's got, he's not combed his hair for a while, Mr. Caine, who's Mike, Dave, original name. He's Mike the barman, and he talks about his life and blah, blah, blah. And the Mike says, you're Larry Burrows, you're that lad who missed the ball. And he's like, oh, how do you know that? I mean, 20 years. He doesn't once go, well, this is a bit strange. You fucking weirdo. You know where we are?
You fucking stalker or something.
I look nothing like the guy who played me when I was 15, but yeah. Anyway. Yeah. But, Dave, just before that, though, how gorgeous is Courtney Cox on the Stacker truck. Oh, my God. Yeah. Oh, she is out. She plays Jewel Jagger, Dave. She's a forklift truck driver. And she's doing a bit of flirting with Larry, and then Larry's dad comes over and all this just before he loses his job. And he loses his job because they think there's some underhand dealings going on because of the union stuff, because his wife, Linda Hamilton, she asks him to go look snooping, and that's how he loses his job. But he then pours his heart out to Mike. Mike's talking to him. He drinks this drink, and then he comes outside, and his car's gone. The broken down car's gone. He's like, where the hell am I going? So he then proceeds to go and get a taxi to his old house, or his house, as he thinks. Very Back to the Future 2, Dave, which I think came out around about this just before this, when Marty goes back to the drive. And there's a guy there, this big cop, sounds like a New York cop, doesn't it?
Big old guy as well, wasn't
he? He was like you mentioned about it being like a TV movie. He was like a B version of Biff, basically. He was just a big guy, wasn't he? And they have this standoff, and then Mike turns up, then Dunny in the taxi, and he's like, Larry, things have changed. So what did you think of all that, Dave? Because I know it's probably something that was trod quite a few times, but I'm all in all this, even if there is a few dodgy bits.
I can tell you're all in on it. And this is role reversal, really, because I'm watching it for the first time in 2023. And I don't know, it just feels so unoriginal. But more than that, I mean, it's a great cast, like I said. I like James Belushi, but it doesn't really sell it to me about how bad his life is. He's basically struck out. Right? That's it in this game. And then this young girl takes a shine to him. They end up getting married. And she seems pretty lovely, to be fair. Again, it's a bit weird to watch her play this character where she's all kind of lovely and then she's kicking Terminator asses next year, But he doesn't really sell it to me. Or rather, the story doesn't. That his life is really that bad. I mean, he's moaning about fucking cereal. It's like, get up off your arse and shop yourself, you twat. He's moaning about, what was it? Not Cheetos, Wheatos, or something like that.
Yeah, something like
it's
that.
Not the right.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, cry me a fucking river. You know what I mean? It's like he's moaning about all this shit, and he's got a job, he's got a car, he's got the house, he's married, he's got his wife and stuff, who seems lovely, and it's just, it doesn't sell it to me that his life is that bad. If you think, so, I don't know, have you ever seen Liar Liar?
Yeah, great film.
Like, when he's kind of, his life goes all shit because he can't tell a lie anymore, and you believe it. You believe that, he's driven to the pits of despair at particular times. But in this one, I just don't feel like his life is really that bad. And then it gets worse, Chris, because after he's gone through the transformation, and I think I've seen so many movies like this, I mean, where, there's the surprise about they're in this alternate universe or something, like things like Vice Versa and things like that, where they end up in different bodies and whatever.
Yeah. Saw that cinema.
It just goes on for too long, this conversation with the cop and stuff, and then it all comes to light. But it gets a bit weird then, Chris, because his ex-boss's wife in this universe is his wife. They've got a couple of kids. And, he's still getting used to this universe. Quite happily sleeping with her, though.
Well, Dave, the outfit she had on, come on. You know what I mean? It was his birthday, for God's sake. You know what I mean, Dave? She had the full, what was it called? Eyes Wide Shut outfit mask on and everything. Rene Russo looked stunning, Dave. I remember from Lethal Weapon 2 when she first came into it, she was stunning. But my word, Lethal Weapon 3, sorry.
I was going to say, it was Patsy Kensit too.
Yeah, Patsy Kensit. My word. Is she stunning in this day? But yeah, I agree with that. It's proper wrong, in it? Because obviously, in his head, he's still married to Ellen, but as soon as she's like, happy birthday, darling, do the old Marilyn Monroe, he's like, who? Ellen, who? Oh, go on then, it's my birthday. I get a hall pass. And he ends up, dipping his bread in. We don't see it, but, we know that's what he's done. And then it all, he gets the cars, and because of who he is, he's an absolute wanker, isn't he? He's like, he's come in there with the Larry that starts the movie. He's this happy-go-lucky, a bit down on his luck, but happy-go-lucky guy, quite a nice person, quite a lot of people like him, to be in this absolute, Alan Sugar tyrant, someone who runs a business is just scrupulous, and everyone who works for him hates him, don't they? And then we find that duel, Courtney Cox, who was driving the forklift in this universe, she's his mistress and secretary who's going to cut his nuts off because Larry decides to start looking for fucking his ex-wife. Oh, his wife, sorry, Ellen. And he's like, and he said, Ellen Ripley, is she here? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, and then she comes in going, who's this Ellen Ripley bitch? And all this shit with a fucking knife and all this stuff, proper threatening him. And it's like, right. Well, there's some moral compass here that doesn't really matter in this movie. So it's interesting. I've always thought that bit when he actually sleeps with Rene Russo was a bit too far of a stretch. Even though I love the film, Dave, I always thought that was a bit naughty, to be honest.
Well, I mean, jump into the end and we'll come back. But it's when he snaps back into his normal universe or snaps out of his dream or whatever it is. And then she comes around and it's all happy ending and everything. And she says, oh, I wish I'd have known it was your birthday. I'd have got you something. And he says, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but something like, don't worry, you've given me more than you'll ever know. Well, that sounds fucking terrible. Basically, I remember having carnal relations with you, which you have no idea about. Fucking hell, that's horrendous.
It is horrendous. You know what? That's so bad because I think for me, what hits me even watching it now, I think we've all done that through our lives, adult life, whatever. You always think, what happens if I'd done this, and this? I'll be married next year, 25 years, and I'm happily married. However, you always have them thoughts like, well, imagine just if you're daydreaming. I remember I could have gone and lived in Spain for quite a while, Dave, and I never did it. And then I've got with Sam, we're together. I wouldn't have had Jordan. You're thinking, God, these things. There is a reason why you have these things happen. They happen for a reason. That's just where your life is planned out, whether you know it or not. It's the way it is. So I like that idea, but the timeline stuff of it all, you're right. Like, he's got everything he wants, or he thinks he wants. He wants the classic cars. He's got like these Gullwing Mercedes, but he's in his real life, he's making him like a little fucking, painting him in and making him and all that stuff. But when he's actually got them, he doesn't want them, and he's got the house, he's got the 2.4 children, he's got the money. And all that happens is he then just decides he wants his old life back and starts stalking Ellen. I mean, when he sees her in the canteen and he's like, Ellen, and she's petrified of him. She's like, what are you doing this for? You know, and he's like talking to her and all that. And even watching it now, Dave, as much as I love the movie and I know what's going to happen, I mean, Linda Hamilton, she looks more like Sarah Connor in the fucking than she does at the start. She looks like Sarah Connor from the original Terminator. Yeah. By the time we go in the alternate universe, she's full on fucking T-1000 ready to fucking go, I think, Dave. She looks really drawn, you know, like really like withdrawn on herself. She's power dressed, but she's still part of the Union, which is what she was in the other universe. But then Larry decides he wants to get to know her, and basically this Niles Pender, they go golf and he can't fucking hit fucking anything. It's like me on golf, but he then decides he's going to actually give the Union everything they want in the pay rise round the board, doesn't he? Just to take her on a date, and it's like there is some weird fucking morals. And Mike pops up, doesn't he? Mike's like, "But why are you doing this? You've been happily married to Cindy Jo for 10 years now, Rennie Russo. Why are you doing it? She's been a loyal wife." And he's like, "Well, I can change the rules." So really, Larry just wants to get his end away and then go back to his real life. It's strange morals, Dave.
Yeah, it's not good. I don't think it's very good, the message it gives. It's just, like you say, because all right, he can maybe not like the new life that he's got, you know, getting all the things that he wants is not as good as he thought it was going to be. But, I mean, his pursuit of Ellen, like, I mean, he thinks in this life he is married to Rennie Russo, doesn't he? So, you know, but he just kind of slips that off fairly easily. He's like, well, yeah, but I like Ellen more, you know, in my old life, you know, and I guess she is just part of that old life that he's trying to get nostalgic about.
Yeah, but there's some weird dialogue, though, as well, because, like, Jewel, Courtney Cox, she's his mistress, his secretary. When she says to him, like, where the hell were you? You said you were going to come and see me at midnight. I'm like, well, hang on. How the fuck has Cindy Jo not questioned you if you were going to go out at midnight? And when he takes Ellen on a date, Linda Hamilton, he's like, he takes her out at night and no one bats an eyelid, Dave. There's no question, like, what's because he called him LJ and why is LJ fucking LJ Burrows? Why is he not? You know, what's he doing with his family? And it's only when Niles messages her, doesn't he? Messages Cindy Jo and says, you know, obviously says to him he's having dinner with this woman, but there's no context to it, and I still can't understand why Larry turns around and says, "Yeah, she's a private detective." It's like, well, just say to her she's a union rep. Everyone from work has seen that you said we're going to settle this over dinner and thrash it all out. What is wrong with that? It just that is a bit of a stretch, I must admit.
Yeah, and she didn't seem that surprised, just almost like jaded, like he's done this before kind of thing to me. Yeah. So again, it's just, I don't think he's that likable. I mean, it's James Belushi playing Larry, so James Belushi is definitely likable. But the character, I just don't find him likable, really. I find him a whiny bitch, Chris.
How dare you, Dave?
I find him a whiny, cheating scumbag.
Well, fuck you, Dave, because it is your picnic, so you should remember that.
I will.
I'm rolling my sleeves up as we speak, ready for next week. But I think you're right. I think, like, morally, it's trying to send this message of, like, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. However, Larry isn't that far away from people like Niles. He's doing the right thing, and he's But he's also manipulating. He's manipulating Ellen because he just wants to get in her knickers, basically. He's like, you're my wife. Let's just go for it. We'd already seen that her husband had stormed off because he'd had an affair. So then the only thing, one of the things I like is when he takes her on the date, afterwards, when they're in that restaurant and the two girls, Jewel and Cindy Jo, see him talking to her, and they're like, bastard, both of them, and they both separate off, which was, it's a bit of a coincidence. But then he takes her to like the pizza place. And what I got straight away was, I picked up on this, was when she was talking about, he said, tell me anything. And he was naming all these things about her, which is a coincidence, Dave, that in this alternate universe, she does exactly the same thing she does in the real universe. But then she says, I got pulled over by the police as well. What was playing on the radio? And that song is what Jon Belushi sang in the Blues Brothers, Dave. So I don't know whether that was intentional. He pressed the button. So he pressed the button.
Couldn't it?
Yeah, a little nod back to his brother. So he presses the button, it comes on, give me some loving and all that. But then she does sort of start warming to him. But again, as in most movies, Dave, this has happened over one night. This hasn't happened over like months. This is in one night. This has all happened, and he thinks he's back in with her, done it. So Niles is then trying to frame him because he realizes that Clip, his best friend, is a nervous wreck in this universe. He's tried to jump off the building, gives him a fucking job there. He's vice president of fucking sales, 125 grand in a Mercedes. And Niles is like, I'm going to get you next time, Gadget, and sets about trying to get him. So it's an hour and 50, this movie. I must admit, I do think you could chew about 15 minutes off this one. Dead easy with some of the filler stuff in it.
I think you could chew more than that off. But,
you are on thin ice, my friend.
I wondered. I didn't quite figure out what happened to Leo, or whether I just nodded off or something. But the
old guy,
the old guy, he was just suddenly. I mean, it's a classic, isn't it? So, like, he's keeled over on the floor, and Niles is like, "Oh, brilliant! I'm going to frame Larry for this." Just this corporate businessman suddenly becomes a Columbo-style fucking criminal.
Well,
like trying to make a few quid by selling off the company, but no, it's all right. He's going to frame Larry for murder. It's like, fucking hell. It's ridiculous. But what happened to Leo? Did he just like keel over? Or?
No. So Cindy Jo messaged, and obviously he's Cindy Jo's dad, who looks more like a granddad, to be honest. So he writes a letter. he was doing a speech, wasn't he, going, LJ, you're fired. LJ, you lying bastard, you're fired, and all this. And he writes him a note and says, I think I'll write him a note. So he goes to sneak in, but Niles has kicked the shit out of the office, and he's smashed everything up. His mate who's with him, he bottles it and legs it. He comes through the door, and I think Niles hits him with the golf club, and that's how he ends up on the floor. And he sort of killed him, basically, unintentionally.
So caught him. I think I did maybe nod off for that.
I think you did at that point, Dave. But I can understand it because the enthusiasm for this one is like me with most of the films. So, but it's then this like chase scene, isn't there? Because Larry, because it's in his office, but somehow he's in the frame. And the police are after him, and he's like maniacally trying to get away. He goes to see Ellen. Ellen's back with a cheating husband, Dave. You know what I mean? Like,
can we just enjoy the fact that Larry is being taken out by all these police, or were they even police or just security guards or something like that? They were fucking armed.
Yeah.
Courtney Cox comes in. No, I'm a bit pissed off with him. I'm going to start shooting at everyone. I mean. How is she not dropped herself? I saw it was ridiculous. And then he gets off, very nice little Porsche there that he was getting away in. But I'm like, are these the Keystone Cops or something? I just
Star Wars.
I thought that, the fucking stormtroopers. So I thought that was ridiculous as well. The fact that she just started shooting at all these fucking cops and whatever, and then he just gets away scot-free.
Well,
and then again, I don't know what the police are doing there. Are they just like, oh, fucking hell, need a cup of tea now? After being shot at? Because like he's got ages, hasn't he, when he goes back?
Yeah, but don't you think Courtney Cox's character is very similar to Carrie Fisher in Blues Brothers, Dave?
That
You know
is
what I mean?
right. Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
very,
Very,
very
very
s-
similar.
Very similar. That scorned lover who decides that she's going to get a fucking bazooka, and John Belushi, Elwood, and Jake just get up fucking without a scratch on them, as we know, the Chicago fucking train station thing. But yes, he's very similar to that. You're right. It comes from nowhere. I mean, we've seen her with the knife earlier on, but it's like, why have you just? And she's a shit shot, by the way, because LJ, Larry, then gets away in his fucking car, which is a mint little Porsche, by the way, Dev. I think that's the one, unfortunately, James Dean passed away in. That one. It's not that car, but that model of car. But it's a classic car, they're worth a bomb. And he then crashes it, everything, but ends up, Dave, back at the bar with Mike. And Mike's not there. And he's mixing all these drinks, and the sirens are going on the outside. And he's like, right, I'm coming out. And then the guy comes, Dave, the tow truck guy, doesn't he? And he's back, Dave, to November 5th, 1985, Dave, at this point.
I couldn't work out. Did he know that was going to work if he just got hammered?
Well, it was supposed to be a milk drink he had at the start, wasn't it? That changed everything. But
right,
it wasn't a milk thing. He was fucking mixing. It looked like he was having all the top shelves to try and get away with his fucking worries. So
yeah, I'm back in my universe, but I've got alcohol poisoning.
but didn't you think though, Dave? Like when he sort of comes back in the game, the tow truck guy's over his car, gives him a lift home. He's like, keep the car. He goes to the thingy, doesn't he, to the meeting. This is very Back to the Future, by the way, this bit.
Yeah.
He goes to the fucking board meeting, and then Niles is there, and he just fucking drops him, doesn't he? And he's like, he's trying to sell the business from under you, blah, blah, blah. Then he goes home, back to his house. Everyone's there. He's kissing them all like he's not seen him for days. Again, Marty McFly levels, Dave. I was waiting for Biff to be polishing the car outside there at the end. But then Cindy Joe and the fucking American football guy come back and basically offer him Niles his job, don't they? From nowhere. No qualifications of fuck all. They go, would you like to be the vice president or the president of the director of sales with a Mercedes? Yeah. Welcome to the team. So I'm taking the piss out of it because I know, but I must admit, Dave, you've absolutely thrown this one under the bus for me, but I got quite emotional in some bits in this movie, Dave. I don't know why. At the end, I had proper tears in my eyes at the end, which I never do. But it genuinely got to me, like proper got to me at the end when everything was good again and he made his life back. I don't know why. I never do it Back to the Future now, but it really, really hit a nerve this time.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of felt like it was almost a bit like Tiger Claws 3, Chris, where he wakes up from the dream, and then he acts as if the dream played out. But I guess it's not quite like that because he knew that Ellis was essentially, or Niles was trying to sell the company underhandedly. But essentially, that punch could have gone quite badly. I think he'd have been in front of HR there, wouldn't he? But I guess it's 1990, so maybe not. But I think at its core, right, the DNA of it is a great story, isn't it? It's the classic redemption. And, especially at the end there, he's kind of feeling like his life has ended. I'm sure I've mentioned this to you before, though, Chris. Have you had those dreams? I seem to get them, I wouldn't say every month, but every now and then I'll get a dream and I'm somehow like on the run from the police or something, or my life is shattered in some way. And then you wake up and then you're like, oh, thank fuck for that. Just that feeling of, oh shit, there's no going back now. So him getting like that and then, it going back to normal, it's just, at its core, it's a good story. But like I say, it was kind of ruined for me with the sleazy line about sleeping with Cindy Joe and her having no idea about it. Whether it was in a parallel universe, whether it was a dream, whatever it was. I mean, it's definitely not played up like a dream, is it? So yeah, I think the fact that I've just not really that bought into Larry as a character, I think that's why I was like a bit lukewarm on it.
It's interesting that, because that's why I think I'm at is when you were saying about the dreams and that loads of times you have them dreams where like, I think I've fucking been arrested or, like your life is just in tatters, or I've even done it where I'm like looking in from the outside at Sam and Jordan, like they don't know who I am, that sort of thing, Dave. That's so I get it. I think that's why it sort of was relatable, because grass isn't always greener on the other side, is it? You know what I mean? It's a classic cliche of a line, but most of the time, that's fucking true. You want what you can't have, and Larry gets it, and then he doesn't fucking want it, and it ends up being even worse. His life is just... So that's why I think I relate to it, and I understand the movie, but also I can completely understand, as we talk about it, some of the fucking stretches in it, Dave.
I mean, have you had any moments in your sporting high school career, Chris? We didn't call it high school in the UK, but in school, where you maybe missed a penalty that could have won the game, or missed a glorious chance, or played in goals and let one go through your legs?
Well, Dave, you've seen me play football and run, Dave, so definitely there was never any
sprinting's off the table, for sure.
Right off the table. I run like I'm in fucking treacle, don't I? So that's definitely off the table. But the only thing I can relate to, and it's not... there was two things, actually, to do with cross-country running. So when I was about 10, 11 years old, I used to run for the school, and I used to run like at the local running track, which is where Sale Harriers, Trafford run out. We've had loads of Olympic sprinters and long distance runners, Dave. Not me, by the way. And I was winning the cross country race for the first time. As I got older, I started getting pretty good at it. And I was in I used to get in say the top 20 of about 80 lads, running. And it was always round the track a couple of times, around the park near my mum's. And I was winning this race once, Dave. This is God's honest. I probably would have got beat because, as you know, I can't fucking sprint for toffee. But I was winning this race. Yeah. What happens when you're winning the race, Dave, and you don't know where you're going? You go the wrong way. And I came 16th. I'll never forget it. It was my best ever result. I'd come 20th, 18th. I come 16th because I fucking ran, because I was winning the race and I actually went the wrong way and lost it, Dave. And because it was around the park, I left the track winning by quite a bit. And I don't know how, Dave. Everyone must have been having a fucking bad day for me to be winning it. But I remember coming back in the stadium and everyone's like, what the fuck's happened to you? I remember lads laughing, going, bye, bye. And I'm just like, you pricks, you absolute pricks. So there was that. However, one of the most embarrassing moments ever, and it didn't ever change my life, Dave, I'm going to throw this in there, was running again at Sale Harriers. That's ended up with their own proper Sale Harriers race track and everything in Sale, Dave. They did TGI Fridays, as you come off the motorway, M60 at Sale, you know it well. Left-hand side, there's a proper running track. So we're doing the running track. It's boys v girls. I think the lads, we didn't win, but we were quite high up. But the girls actually won, Dave. And they asked, can somebody from my old school, St. Teresa's, can they come up and accept the award, Dave? I decided in my infinite wisdom to accept a girls' award, Dave, on the school's behalf. I got up there and got laughed off the fucking podium because it was the guy come back on and went, can we have a girl, please? A member of the girls' team. You're not a member of the girls' team. And I remember getting off and just getting fucking roasted. And at school, everyone was ripping the piss out of me, Dave. So that's one of my worst fucking moments of my life. I still think about it now, 34 years later. Terrible.
Just think how differently your life could have turned out.
I could have been fucking, I could have been running the world, Dave, just because of that one moment. It dented me forever.
Oh dear. No, I can't compete with that. I think some of the tournaments that I used to play, I was thinking, I remember smacking a penalty. It was 5-a-side. It was a school competition, and we were an unfancied side, and we'd taken this much better side to penalties. And I think we all missed our penalties, to be fair. So I wasn't the only one, but I was so confident. And I just remember, I can see it now in my mind's eye. I just blasted it towards the top right-hand corner. I was so sure. I was pretty good at putting it in that spot, except today, where it just rattled off the top half of the crossbar. I was like, fucking hell. But it's it's a fucking school game, isn't it? Who fucking cares? It hasn't changed my life at all.
But Dave, he could have done. You could have been playing for Liverpool up front, Dave, because of that. And the scout was there watching you.
And could have done now.
Get all this chance for me, Dave. But anyway, I'm not saying anything because I'm off to the football later, so it could go all wrong, Dave. So anyway, shall we get into our scores, Dave?
Let's go.
Well, I'm going to give the good news before we get the bad news, I think, with the scores today. So I absolutely love this film, Dave. I can take the piss out of it, but I've watched it so many times. You know, it just felt so comfortable going back. Got me emotional again. Don't know what's happening to me, Dave. Now I'm in my mid-40s. I don't know what's going on.
It's the change.
It is the change, yeah. Well, yeah, my fucking body's changed, Dave. Not for the good anyway, no matter how hard I try. But no, genuinely did it. It really got the feels. But you've made some great points. I'm not even going to argue with you when you give your score about Larry and basically cheating on Ellen, just getting his end away. That's basically the premise of the movie. But it just sits well with me. So it's not an absolute god tier movie, Dave, but I'm going to send it to Pleasantville. It's a great movie for me, and I will 100% watch this again. I need to buy it on DVD or Blu-ray because it's just one of the movies that I just loved as a kid. It's completely different than watching The Lethal Weapons, Beverly Hills Cops, things like that, 40 Hours. It was just something that you shouldn't sit well with me because I don't usually like movies like this. I didn't when I was younger, but I still love it despite the holes in the movie. It's still got a great movie for me. So what about yourself, Dave?
Well, I think it's got a great cast. I think the DNA of the story is fantastic, but it's been done to death. I just think I think I'm looking at it quite negatively just because there's nothing really original. I mean, you could say that the fact that he's a cheating scumbag is the original bit, but that's not really a positive. So I just think this could have been so much better with that cast and that DNA of the story. I think it could have been a lot better than it was. I think, as you said before, I was sort of tongue-in-cheek saying they could have shaved a lot more of the time off. I mean, it did drag along a little bit, but I don't think the lows were low enough and the highs weren't high enough, for me at least. But again, I'm just watched it once now for the first time in 2023. So I could see if I'd have watched this years ago, it would have been, it would have hit me a lot more than it did now, when I'm just an old cynical old fart. But yeah, you know what, Chris? This is the perfect movie for if you're hungover on a Sunday afternoon or something, and you're just lying on the sofa, and you can't muster the energy to reach for the remote control to change the channel.
Yeah.
And you sort of drift in and out of consciousness as you fall asleep and feel sorry for yourself and think, and get those waves of, oh, I think I'm going to be sick. No, I think I'm fine. No, I'm going to be sick. That is how I'd mentally, or where I would mentally put this movie. So yeah, not terrible, but just, yeah, not enough for me. So I'm afraid it's an Elm Street for me. I don't think it's not an Alderaan, because there are some charming things about it, but and the fact that, like you say, you get these surprise cameos like Courtney Cox and stuff popping up, before she was famous. So yeah, I think, I'm afraid that's where I would put it. But I think, again, as I said with Next to Kin, I mean, it's not quite a role reversal this time, where I actually ended up quite liking that. I do appreciate you pulling things like this out, and so something that really meant something to you back in the day. I think it's a good pick.
No, good stuff. Well, Dave, what are you going to pick this week, my friend? Because I have no idea.
Well, I have been umming and ahhing, and I've got a pick that could potentially throw you under the bus that you'd fucking hate. And then I had something else, which is a bit older, 1973 movie. But I'm not. I'm actually going to go. As you know, Chris, I've been a bit wrapped up trying to wrap my head around the stock market and stuff the last, I don't know, a few months or whatever. And I thought we would go back to 1987 and watch Wall Street. Now let's get into the trailer.
From the director of Platoon, the next battle is in the greatest jungle of them all, Wall Street.
We're going down a drain, okay? The stock is plummeting. When it hits 18, buy it all.
Something big is going down. I want you to fill out the missing picture.
Mr. Gecko, that's not exactly what I do.
Where you can trade your honor.
I could lose my license. That's inside information.
For power. You're not inside, you are outside. I want you with me.
Jeez, that.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Gordon.
Trade your peace of mind.
Just the beginning, pal.
If any trouble does arise, you are on your own. The trail does stop with you.
For a piece of the action.
$100 million, buddy.
All it takes is a little inside information.
I don't care where or how you get it. I think you owe me.
And you can trade everything you believe in.
He's using you, kid, but you're too blind to see it.
For everything you've ever wanted.
I get a strange call from the SEC, so this is heavy, bud.
Why do you need to wreck this company? Because it's wreckable, all right?
Michael Douglas, Charlie Sheen, Daryl Hannah,
I think it's gone up since
Martin
then.
Sheen,
Yeah, I think so.
and Oliver Stone film, Wall Street.
So I must admit, Chris, only seen this the once. Don't remember a lot about it, but like I say, Michael Douglas's character is the most iconic in it, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, old Gordon Gecko there. So yeah, I just thought it'd be interesting to go back. I did, like I say, I did have some throw you under the bus ones, but we'll keep those for another day.
Well, I've never seen this, Dave. I've never seen it. I think, unfortunately, around this time, I was dictated by what films like my granddad or my old man had watched, and this wasn't one of them, so I've never seen it. However, loving New York, unfortunately, we got a shot of the Twin Towers there as well, Dave, so I love that New York feel to everything. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. However, we've watched a few Charlie Sheen movies around this time, Dave, especially fucking The Rookie, and he's fucking shit. So I think I've got a feeling that the trailer is the best part of acting that he does in the movie. So Michael Douglas is always good, and his dad, Martin Sheen, is usually pretty good as well. So let's see, Dave. I could be proven wrong, but I think Charlie might be the one who fucking knocked me off this one. But I'm really interested in watching this for the first time. I'm actually quite excited, actually, because it's one that wants to tick off the old list.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, in 87, I think you'd have been, what, 9?
9, yeah.
So, I mean, you're not that into Wall Street and
No.
stock markets. I know it's only a little bit older, but it just didn't resonate with me at the time either. So, but I think that's why I just want to go back and watch it and just see what it's all about. And Chris, have you watched The Wolf of Wall Street?
Oh, I love it.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Fucking
It's
love
fucking
it.
brilliant, isn't it?
What
So,
film.
yeah, I want to sort of see does this one really stack up to that one? Because I think in my memory, Wolf of Wall Street's better. But let's see.
Wolf, Margot Robbie, that's all you got to say to me, Dave. What a film.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, massive thank you, mate. Massive thank you to everyone who supports us and that. We do appreciate it. If you want to email us, thevhsstrikesback@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media @thevhsstrikesback. If you do want to go over to patreon.com/thevhsstrikesback. So today's roll call of honour is Mr. Tony Farina, John Hammond, Blake Mass, Jack Herb, Lucky Lulu Green, Kent Heath, Matt, Timothy, Susan, Justin, Dan, Trent, Stephen, Dylan, and Helen. So thank you so much for all your support, guys. We really appreciate it. And I'm really looking forward to it. And what I've seen, Dave, after a couple of weeks ago now, but people actually cannot believe that I like the Goonies. You know what I mean? Or,
I know.
to a point. So, especially Glyn, who was actually going to, never speak to us ever again, Dave, delete the podcast if I really shit on it, which I didn't. So I did actually enjoy it. So he wasn't the only one who said that. I think even Jack was like, I am not watching this. It's going to
Jack held off for a little while, didn't he? He
Yeah.
just wasn't too sure, and everyone did well to hold off any spoilers. But no, I think people were pleased that you didn't shit all over a classic, Chris. Genuine classic.
Yes, I know. So anyway, Dave, what are you going to take us out with today?
Well, I thought, seeing as you loved this movie, I thought, what classic and great lines from this movie are you going to come up with?
I've not fucking got any, Dave, because there isn't any.
There
aren't any. All I'll say to you is one thing, Dave. The grass isn't always greener on the other side.
Good message.
Goodbye.
Bye now.
That's it, man. It's game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
I'll be back. That's not.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Wax on, wax off.
Get to the chopper!
One ring to go.
All right. Ding, ding.
Bust you up. Go for it.
Well, here we go. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Come on. Ain't so bad. Ain't nothing. Come on. You must be crazy or something. I'm crazy. You just a stupid fool. Yeah, maybe you crazy. I ain't breathing heavy. He's a fool. He's stupid. I'll see you in 6 months.